That's mental health is fun.
My
Well,
biggest thing today was our system decides to randomly stop working and like
Oh,
reverting deals back, which is causing everybody mild annoyance. By mild annoyance, I mean Julie's ready to yeet everything out of her window. But at the end of the day, nobody on my end dies or any stores get shut down. So everyone's gonna survive without their ice cream for the weekend. Promise. We can call this. We're gonna have to call the stores and tell them they have to shut down because the stovetop stuffing isn't $1.99.
God damn it! Fuck you, stovetop.
It is $1.99. It's $1.99 everywhere. Go get some.
well, speaking of fun stuff that
Oh.
sounds
Starting
hard, welcome
Thursday.
back, everybody.
That's a good segue.
Oh fuck! I love that I married you.
Welcome
Every day.
back. I know Ben will be a little bit late, so we'll go ahead and get this party started. Um, last we left our heroes, we were in the town of Edme. We had freed Sepka from a tree that was draining him of his life, and were able to mostly clear our druid friend of her, we'll call it affliction. Uh,
Mostly.
you had investigated the Haven of the Red Quill, which is a library underneath the ground in the Edme Forest, where a uh, guild of scholars, uh, once long upon once upon a time ago, had held their library there. In said library, you found the heart of the tree that had held Sepka. It was a beating, pulsating mass of roots, definitely giving off some void energy. But as you made your way back to the Starlight Tavern, and after Sepka had translated the scroll that Professor had been carrying around for some time, you have now a tool with which you may use to at least help with some of the symptoms of the void corruption. You had decided to go to the tavern and kind of spend the rest of the day kind of relaxing and taking a much needed break after a lot of excitement had occurred. We left off as Zakaria was leading our group to her brewery to enjoy a night of feasting and drinking, and the twins were there too, and Ember tagged along to make sure that nobody got too drunk. Uh,
Oh, Ember.
so, you have your night in the tavern. Uh, do you want to go through what you are doing this evening, or would you like to move forward to the next morning? As you make that decision, I will bring you back to Enme.
Well, I think the kiddos got drunk. And we tucked them into a table, if memory serves. I don't know. And I think it's just gonna be drinking, laughing, kind of having fun, bonding, debauchery. Usual.
Yeah.
Good old carousing.
Yeah.
Carouse.
Anybody looking to have any fireside chats with each other? Or possibly who's spending the night with who?
Yeah, Professor. Who's spending the night with who?
You just want me to say it.
Yeah.
Um, I think the professor will probably spend the night where he did the previous night.
Mm-hmm.
Adorable. Mm-hmm.
It's just a shame they don't have access to the private chat you and I have going on, right, Mars? It's a
Mm-hmm.
shame. It's a damn
Pay
shame.
per view, man.
Yeah. Oof. Just gonna have
First of
to
all,
use your imagination.
my imagination will make you blush.
Don't use Jenna's imagination. It's not that exciting.
It's fair. It's very fair.
Sure, it's not.
I demand to know what tier of the Patreon allows me access to this
Yeah.
private group.
I don't know. The holidays are coming. Christmas is coming. Maybe
We'll get a nice book.
you'll get a nice book.
I think Jade will do some fireside chats and mostly just check in on some people. After everything that went down. I think she's gonna talk to Ren. Whilst we're all hanging out and it gets later on into the evening because Ren went out to go feast upon the apples and has not come back in. Is that right?
That is because he now has a swollen belly full of apples and cannot
Yeah.
move.
So I think Jade's gonna go try to find Ren and make sure Ren is okay.
I mean, he thinks he's okay.
So long as he thinks he's fine, I mean, Jade will believe that.
Not so hard to do. There is a couple apple trees that are not too far away from the tavern. You find Ren engorged with apples,
Yep.
surrounded by kobolds. I don't know.
And
Maybe
happy.
it could happen.
Oh no, don't let him be friends with the kobolds. That's a terrible plan.
No, be friends with all the kobolds. Be great. Anyway, Jade will approach, and she has her little tankard of whatever it is that has been poured for her. It is not at all working to get her drunk because it doesn't work for her, apparently. And she's going to, she say, "Ren, are you okay?
Hello.
Been out here a while."
There were apples. I would
Oh.
offer you one, but there are no more apples.
Oh, that's okay. I'll give all my apples to you because I know you like them so much. So that's all right.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, I'll just want to check on you, make sure you're okay after everything that happened today.
All of the strange things that have been occurring.
Mostly just today, strange things, but sure, everything is also good. We can talk about that.
Ren kind of just shrugs. I am uncertain what there is to talk about.
Your feelings?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just wanted to if you are feeling okay and or lonely or all right with the fact that you're the only one who can cast a spell that's going to help with the corruption at this point in time. Are you okay?
I feel very full.
Oh, that's probably the apples. Good.
Indeed.
Is a good feeling.
I feel I may regret this later, but not at this very moment.
Okay. Well, can I get you anything then?
No.
Okay.
To answer your prior question, I do not feel I will regret being able to help individuals. It is a comfort to know what my purpose seems to be.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, I'm glad that you feel good about that. Right. Well, I'll let you be with your apples.
Ryan kind of like tilts his head and looks at Jade. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm good. I think it's great that we have some answers that we've been looking for, and that we have some possible solutions that we've also been looking for, and that we have a way to help people.
It feels like there's something you are leaving unsaid.
I mean, I worry about you. That's all.
Why?
It's a lot for one person.
It seems to be my purpose, though, and I cannot turn away from a purpose.
I mean, yeah, of course. Well, I
You
just wanted to make sure you
still
were
seem
okay.
to be leaving things unsaid.
Well, I just wanted to come check on you and make sure you're okay. And I really am glad that you're able to use this magic and help people and help the Professor and help Yuki maybe in the morning if she wants you to, and other people we come across. But it's a lot for one person, and I don't think it's really fair that only you. And I worry that you will try to help so much that you won't leave anything left for yourself. So,
If that is how it must be, then that is how it must be. I've already perished once. I'm willing to give up of myself. He blinks then. I mean, not really blinks because he can't actually blink, but the firelight in his eyes kind of goes out. Wait, we should stop talking about that. Some may get it in their minds that I am some sort of resurrection deity myself, and that would not be appropriate. Oh, dear, I did not think of that. That is not good.
I mean, it's just us and the apples right now.
Indeed, but people talk. The bard talks.
Oh, God talks about a lot of
That
things.
could be problematic. No, Ren is not Jesus! Damn it, don't do that! Ren came to that realization sometime last week in my head. I'm like, oh, you're right, that's a problem.
I mean, not for nothing. You're not the only person who's come back from the dead,
Very true.
and you're not. It's not like you brought yourself back,
That would be awkward.
which is why it's a little bit. Never mind.
Wait,
It's okay. We don't have to say anything about.
did you bring yourself back?
No, I definitely, most assuredly, did not bring myself back from the dead. That was on my papa.
You
He did
seem
that.
very unnerved now.
I don't want to upset you. That's all.
Why do you not wish to upset me?
I don't like making people upset.
Indeed, but what would you say that would upset me?
That the person who brought you back didn't necessarily bring you back because it was the best thing for you.
That is acceptable.
Why?
I live to serve Thanatos. Help. Do what I can to help maintain the balance of this world and the cycle of living and death.
And what does he do for you?
Gives me purpose, as we have seen.
You can have purpose without him.
Perhaps. But I may not find it as fulfilling.
Might be.
Hmm?
I'm glad you're okay, Ren. Everybody's still inside too. If you do want to come back in, and
I do not think I can move for some time.
do you want me to bring you a blanket or anything?
Oh, that would be lovely.
Okay, I'll get you a blanket. I'll head over to get a blanket for Ren and bring it back.
I appreciate your kindness. Are you certain you are all right?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
I am uncertain how good you have been in any time that I have met you. You have always been somewhat flighty and certainly nervous. But you seem somewhat more that way right now.
Oh, well, I mean, nervous is kind of where I'm usually at. I'm trying not to think too much about everything all at once. It's a progress, I think. Maybe.
Is there anything you would like to talk about?
Not particularly. I mean, I just wanted to talk about you, and we did, and you're okay. At least you said you were okay, and I believe you because I don't think you'd lie to me. I just worry. That's all.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried about you. You said you.
But why?
I mean, I know we haven't known each other long, Ren, and I know you've got a purpose, and that makes you feel good. And it's a good purpose, don't get me wrong, and you're going to help a lot of people, and you're going to certainly help the professor.
The
But,
professor needs constant vigilance.
but I do worry, because even just now in our conversation, you said that you would not mind dying again if it meant that you were fulfilling a purpose, and that's very noble, and that's nice, and I know you do it because you were helping other people, but I don't like that you jump to that so quickly, because it makes me think that maybe you won't be as careful as you could be, and I don't want to see you die, at least not for a while anyway.
Ron inclines his head and he tries to give a comforting smile. It's not very effective, but he's trying, okay? And he adds that I've experienced much in my life before, even if I do not recall it all, and I am experiencing a very rich life now. I do not intend to be unwise or hasty in my actions. However, I do not fear what comes beyond this life. How could I? That is part of what I believe in and part of what I will usher into others, as well as myself. But I will make sure I am careful, especially now since I seem to be the only one able to offer this help with this current calamity.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear that, Ren.
Is there anything else you wish to discuss?
I don't think so.
Do you
Is it
find the beverages here helpful?
helpful? Oh, they're pretty tasty. Z has been all of us have a taste of all the different kinds she's got.
That is kind of her.
Yeah.
I do not mind the beverages, but I do find the apples to be more delicious. Unfortunately, it appears we have run out of apples.
I'm just on these trays.
Mm.
There's probably more.
Ren looks at his somewhat swollen stomach. I do not think I can reach those at this moment, nor would it be a wise idea for me to pursue them.
Oh, yeah. Too much food is bad.
It would seem so.
Oh, okay.
I
How
do not
much?
wish to get on the ship anytime soon.
Oh, I don't think we're going anywhere until at least after tomorrow.
Very good.
Do you want me to check on you again before we head in for the night? Or are you going to sleep out here with the apples?
I am uncertain. It does feel somewhat peaceful here under the tree.
Okay. Well, I'll check on you anyway, just to make sure.
Jade, may I ask something of you?
Of course.
Could I perish in this adventure? Not that I plan to. But I think, if I have the opportunity, I would like to be buried under a tree this time, instead of stuck down in some stinky sewer for all eternity.
Oh, yeah, that would probably be bad.
I
I
find
could,
great calmness here.
well, if something happens, Ren, and we cannot bring you back, or you don't come back, I will make sure that you're resting under a nice apple tree.
I'm grateful for that. That brings me peace of mind.
Oh, good.
Not there yet, Neville.
Did you want me to Okay, just because you took your other skull, do you want both? Would you want in the same place, or
I think I will help my former self find peace somewhere as we go.
okay?
We haven't quite reached exactly where it is yet, but I believe I will know when I know.
Okay.
I have some control over this one, but once I am gone, I will not. So I will entrust you to that duty.
Oh, good. That's not. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I can make sure that happens.
Thank you, Jade. That is very reassuring.
Oh, good. You're welcome.
All right. Any other chats? Nothing else?
Jade will talk with Nariko at the end of the night when everybody's heading back in after she checks on Ren one last time.
Jade, when you find Nariko in her room, she's put aside a few books for some light reading in the evening. She's also, but before she gets to those, she's currently working in her little journal of schematics and in-process designs. You can see right now she's kind of sketching out some measurements for some sort of gauntlet, which has some sort of. You see sort of a second design where it seems to have some sort of propulsion system tacked onto it. And she's kind of like jotting things down and then sort of rearranging.
Jade will just give a gentle knock at the door before she comes in. Nariko. Hi.
Yeah, Jade, come on in.
She'll shut the door behind her and come sit down beside her. Are you working?
Trying to run some numbers and see if the design is feasible first before I get too far into pulling out the tools and the metal.
Oh, that's pretty amazing that you can do that with just the paper.
Well, it helps. You know how I've been doing sort of a quick casting on Yuki to sort of enhance her claws with a little bit of artificial magic.
Yeah.
Um, it's very effective for her, and she's pretty much the only one of us who consistently gets up close and personal with our enemies. So I was trying to find a mechanism that I could grant her that would give her more or less the same effect. It'll be easy enough to make just a weapon, a sword or a spear or something. But she has a very personalized fighting style, so I'm trying to see if I could make something that would complement it.
Wow, that's great.
I noticed that I've been holding on to sort of our funding, and we've only made use of it a little bit here and there for potions and little things like that. Just checking the numbers to see if I could do something that was a little of a bigger investment.
Oh, I mean that's good. I mean that's why you have the funding, the monies.
I'll set this aside for now, though. I was
Oh, you.
we were gonna do our book swap, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I have the book for you tonight. But before we do that, though, I just wanted to check on you and see how you're doing after everything today. Kind of a big day. Do you feel a little better after the talk on the ship? I was a little worried about you.
Yeah, I feel a bit better. I'm glad that our trip out here got us a very, very important new piece of our toolkit, so to speak, as far as undoing the damage that these cultists are perpetrating with the void. Although that seed, we still don't know exactly where it appeared from, unless that it was left behind with that book by one of the followers. It's honestly the only question on my mind that I thought worthwhile for Professor to do his risky plan here.
Mm.
So
Maybe he'll find out. That'll be good.
maybe, but at the very least, I'm glad that he decided to take a casting from Ren beforehand. If he wasn't, I was going to insist that he have that done before making contact, just to make it a little less dangerous for him.
I agree. I'm glad that he did it too. And it doesn't seem like it changed him much, though. Not like it did for Morrowind.
No, which is useful data in the sense that there is most likely a threshold where having enough void within you prompts a change in mindset, a point where those whispers do not just become present, but become impossible to ignore.
That's true. Although the professor, I don't think, has heard any whispering at all yet. So, I guess
I wouldn't be so sure.
oh, really? I know he had the dreams.
He's got dreams, and at low levels of corruptions, those whispers are, well, they're whispers. They're quiet. They can be perhaps not actively heard unless you're actively looking for it. But the professor also has one other companion that has been a source of new void powers and seems to, if nothing else, if not actively want the professor to make use of more void magic, is certainly enabling it, and that would be Jeffrey.
Well, yeah, but Jeffrey's Jeffrey.
Jeffrey is Jeffrey, and Jeffrey seems to be beholden to the professor in the way most familiars are, which makes sense. That was the spell which brought him into being. But it still remains that Jeffrey is undeniably a conduit for the void. Not one that is tied to the cult and whatever their influence is on how that manifests, but I don't think that the professor would be able to be completely without any void influence unless he were to remove his tie to Jeffrey. I think that is one piece that would stay with him regardless. But then again, I don't think the professor is particularly interested in doing a complete clean out of himself right now anyway. So
Yeah. Well, he still really wants to understand it and learn from it. And now that Ren has the magic to help him, I think he's going to be probably learning as much as he can.
yeah. Which I understood would be par for the course for the professor anyway. His curiosity is unquenchable.
Probably has a point. You know, if we know what this stuff is doing, we can fight it better.
True. But we also know now that if usage increases your connection, and a certain level of usage can actually subvert your mind and your intentions, and we don't necessarily know where that threshold is yet, he still needs to have some level of caution as far as
That's true.
Usage and exposure. Understanding, yes, I am all for that. I've been doing my best to support him in that endeavor.
Oh no.
So it's fraught, but again, that's why I was so very intent and grateful that this scroll did provide us that new little countermeasure.
Yeah, that scroll was really important. I'm glad we were able to get here when we did.
Edmay's a nice place. It's
really pretty here. Ren wants to be buried underneath the apple trees here.
Like now?
No, not now. Not now. I mean, he kind of is a little bit because he's sleeping underneath an apple tree right now. He ate a bunch of apples and then could not get up. So he's sleeping outside.
Okay. Is he gonna bury his? She like makes a face. His whole head here?
No, he says that he's not sure where his old self wants to be buried yet, but he'll know it when he finds it. But it was more of a part of our conversation because I was checking on him too, and he said that if something were to happen to him, he wanted me to make sure that he got buried underneath an apple tree.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I will. I don't know what Ren's lifespan is because he's a centaur, which I already don't know. But then he's also him.
I don't know either. That was a weird. The conversation went in a different direction than I was expecting it to go, and but if it makes him feel better, I'm going to make sure that happens unless something happens to me, in which case I can't do that. But I
he
can
follows
come back to it.
He follows a teaching of a god that covers death and passage to the afterlife. So, I can understand he would have opinions about proper services.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it makes sense you guys have a lot in common because I mean you said Malak was originally a god of like transitions, and death to the afterlife is like one of the biggest ones there.
I mean, you're not wrong. Papa had his hand in a lot of different things. A lot of his transitions were during life because there was already gods of death when he was around. But he had a little bit of a hand in it. Not as much, which is why she kind of waves at herself, kind of like this, rather than like Ren. But anyway, no, I just was checking on him, and he said that, so and I wanted to check on you.
Does that help you when you're nervous to go checking on people?
Well, a lot of times I'm nervous about people, so sometimes yes. And I'm worried about Ren and how much pressure he's under, but he doesn't seem like he's feeling pressured, so I guess he's fine.
I mean, I don't know a lot of people of faith. Yuki and Ren are some of the more spiritual people I've had the pleasure to meet, but that is one of the strengths of having something that you place your faith in, is that it can grant you a lot of confidence, especially when you're dealing with situations that have a lot of things outside of your control.
I suppose that's right. That's true enough.
Kind of like how when I'm in trouble and there are things outside of my control, it's easiest for me to find things that are within hand to work on and like find small problems to solve, just because that makes me feel like if I can solve these small problems, that can help me get started on working on solving the big problems. It doesn't work so well when the problem is so big that you can't solve it.
Well, when it's so big that you can't solve it all at once, you solve little bits of it at a time. And then eventually, it's small enough that you can solve the whole thing. Which is what we're doing right now.
Well, there are problems that I can't solve anyway. Like I couldn't solve the fact that my birth parents didn't survive. But going to Dum Dural and helping that place get better and being able to see where they were resting and to say some goodbyes and try and tell them how I've been didn't solve that, but it did help me be better with it.
Jade reaches out and just takes Nariko's hand. Sometimes there's a difference between a problem that needs to be solved and history that you need to learn from and feel better about. And she gives her hand a little squeeze. I'm glad you got to do that. And I'm glad it made you feel a little bit better. Even if it doesn't make you feel all the way better.
And I hope that I can help you feel better too, Jay.
You do make me feel better. Being around you is very nice.
Maybe one day you won't feel like you need to come check on me.
Well, isn't that what you do when you care about people?
So, I did some calculations, and I think I can actually make this thing. Yeah. It's gonna take some time, but actually the material cost is not as much as I was expecting.
That's great.
Yeah. Mostly because I realized partway through I'm going to need it to be somewhat lightweight, which means I actually need some of the metals that don't go as high on the cost list. But if you want to pick out the book that you had this evening and just read it aloud, while I start like laying out the skeleton here, I think that we could have a little bit of an evening together before I have to go to bed.
Oh, yeah, that would be lovely.
So we will do that. What book will Jade choose to read from this evening?
This one is called oh, where'd my book go? I had a thing. This one is called Long Live the Queen. It's a book about the Feywild.
So much self-referential references.
I didn't say it was about Lorelai.
Well. So Jade and Nariko spend the evening reading and building. Would anybody else like to have a conversation or do something before getting your long rest? If nothing else, you'll get a long rest. Hit points come back, abilities, all that stuff reset as a new dawn approaches. In the morning, as you all begin to gather yourselves up and get ready to join en masse in the tavern, you will notice on the bar, kind of chatting happily with Rory and Cassie, a little golden Modron has floated his way into the tavern.
Nariko will spot the Modron and sort of perk up and be like, Noonan, did you just arrive?
I flew all the way from Tremonto, and boy, are my wings tired.
You literally can't be It's good to see you too. Good job, sir. How was your trip? Anything of interest?
Well, it was long. I delivered your letter as you asked, and I do apologize. It took me a while to get back to you, but first, you weren't where I last left you, so I had to kind of find you. But it did take a couple of days uh, to wait for a response to your letter. Um, I thought it was weird that it took so long, but it did. And here, and he's going to hand you uh, a wrapped up correspondence, like wrapped like a scroll with a little blue ribbon wrapped around it.
Nariko will take it and uh, probably will be like, people will be eating breakfast. She is going to find a private corner to read this.
As you take it and unwrap it, a little item falls out. It looks like a set of like jeweler's glasses, uh, that has like a little magnifying lens on it and other lenses that can be swapped out to filter out different colors of light. Very uh, uh, oh shit, very national treasure.
I will add bifocals to my inventory here.
Uh,
Narco spots this and immediately gets like a small grin on her face, because she already suspects why these have been included, and if it is for the reason she thinks, she is very, very happy and slightly impressed. So, go ahead and give me the first version of this letter.
there you go. Should be in your journal now.
Lovely.
The rest of you, as you come to gather, you see that Newman is there. He is kind of doing his Newman thing, and Nariko is off reading a letter.
Hi Newman. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I just flew in Tremonto, and boy, am my wings tired.
Oh, I bet. Can I help with that? Or do you need to lie down?
Oh, I just gotta sit for a while. I'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, did Noriko get on the letter from her mum?
Nope.
Oh. Okay then. Are you hungry? Do you eat?
Nope.
Okay. Do you want to sit with us?
Sure.
Okay. She'll just cast a glance towards Nariko, but let her be and settle in with everybody else to have breakfast. How's everyone else this morning? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Jade. Did you sleep well?
I don't sleep, but I've rested nicely. Watching Nariko sleep.
Right.
Did you sleep well?
I did. The beds here are very, very comfortable, and the beverages last night were even better. Last night, while everybody was drinking, Yuki would have chatted up Z about different herbs and concoctions and all sorts of like flavors and how to mix this, how to mix that, and what sort of like what works best with what. So she's has her little journal out, and she's kind of like taking notes of the things she remembers and different combinations that she can create and try.
Wonderful.
I'm glad you had a good night.
Yuki's gonna kind of look over towards Nariko and look back at Jade and say, "Is everything all right with Nariko? I see Newman is here."
Oh, she just got a letter.
From her mother?
No, someone else. But she gets
Oh.
lots of letters, she's lots of friends.
She definitely does have a lot going on. She's a very, very busy girl.
Yeah, she does a lot. She talks to a lot of people. I only talk to you people, and I can't, not you people in a. You're my friends, and I sometimes don't get to talk to all of you every day. So that's something. Anyway, how's everyone? Ren, are you feeling better after last night?
I believe the apples are on their way to process out of my system, but they were still quite delicious.
I don't know what that means, but good.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's good. Is Professor here with us? Or does he come in late?
I think the professor would probably show up like maybe a couple minutes after Nariko gets her letter. He would probably just walk in the door with the.
Yeah, Z's not going to keep him away from his friends. She's she's not going to be that kind of bitch.
Does Z come with him?
Yeah, does he come
Of
with
course
him?
she does.
Good morning, Professor. Good morning, Z.
Good morning.
Did you have a good night together?
Yeah, did you have a good night together? Sephie calls.
God damn you.
It was lovely. Thank you for asking. Did you have?
Aww.
I think Z is going to put an arm on Professor and say, "Excuse me for a moment. I'll be right back." And she's going to walk over to Sephie and be like, "Sephie."
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening right now.
Professor will waste no time sitting down at a table or something. Have you been up long? Normally, I'm down here before everyone else. It's weird to see you all sort of sitting here and engaging in conversation.
We've only been up for about a few minutes. I mean, I've been up all
good.
night, but we've only been down here for a few minutes. Nariko got a letter, and she's reading it, and we're just talking while we wait for breakfast.
The letter is
Good. I
not
look
from
forward
her
to
mother.
hearing. Oh, okay. Then I guess I won't find out how her mother's do.
I mean, you could write to her. I'm sure she'd
The
take
mother?
it. Yeah,
I mean, I could.
No one is here. You could send a letter.
I'm sure he
It's
can
true.
carry more than one letter.
Mothers love me.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I'm a nice guy. I've got lots to say. I've learned
Well-
a lot about a lot of things, including the things that mothers like.
Oh, like, is that do dads not like you?
Oh, some dads like me. Except for
I
that
don't
one.
understand.
He had something. I don't know. He didn't like my hair.
Oh, I don't under. Okay. Well, I like you, but I'm not a mum. But you are. Your hair is. She just pats his arm a little. Your hair is nice.
Thank you.
You're
I grew
welcome.
it myself. Well, not this
That-
hair. This hair's all some magic and shit. But the hair, my actual hair, I grew myself.
That's not your real hair.
Well, I mean, it's this form's real hair, but I mean, I didn't grow up with it. I just sort of became this, and the hair came with it.
I see. So you meant in your other. Okay. No, I got it. I understand. I like that hair too. Fur. It's fur in that form.
You know, they're
You have lovely
practically the
tails.
same thing, except hair. Fur's just hair that covers your entire body.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was.
Maybe.
I guess it makes sense to be the same. Aura, how was your night?
Or was it BRB?
Never mind.
So, am I correct that the plan for today is to go back to the tree?
Yeah, right. We're supposed to go with Sephie to the tree so Professor can talk to it, and then burn it or remove it, and then I guess we make our plans from there. Got a couple different places we could go. following this thread of everything that's happened.
Like Tremonto.
Well, Tremonto would be a place to go. Well, I mean, one, because Nariko has to get married down there, and that would be a place. And we also know some of the cultists are over in Everall. I don't know that they're in Tremonto, but we know they're in Everall. But there's also Wayward Port, and the mountains, and the desert, and the notes we found about that. And Rose Coast for Ren. We'd have to get to the coast anyway. Especially if Ren is remembering more things and talking and learning all the things that he can do. It might be worthwhile to stop there before we go anywhere off this continent anyway. Professor, what's that look for? Your face is doing a thing.
He slowly turns around. He's like, "What's wrong with my face?"
It just looks like you're staring off into nothing.
I'm thinking. This is my thinking face. It's the face I make when I'm thinking.
What are you thinking, Professor?
Jade, can you feel it? Can you, at all times, when you're just sitting around and twiddling your thumbs or drinking fruity drinks, can you feel it, that the very weave around you?
Do you mean magic?
He nods.
Well, I mean, I feel it all the time. I don't. It doesn't happen just when I'm in moments of quiet.
He stares at her for a moment and then nods, like, good. That's not always been the case for me, but ever since Ren cast that spell last night, it's like this thing that's always been there, but I just couldn't see it through the filth of the void. But I can feel it. I can feel the weave there. I don't have my spell book, but I think that if I just tried, I could probably seize it without the spell book. It's weird. Do you feel this way? You don't use a spell book, right?
No, I don't use any books. I mean, I have books, but I don't use them for my magic. It kind of, it's like you pull all the energy into you, and then you imagine what you want done, and it releases back out of you into what you want. It's always moving through you.
Yes, I see that now. Think of it this way. I just really need someone to understand what's going through my mind.
Okay.
Ever since the incident a few days ago, where you become acquainted with the void, it's like there's a door there. And you can ignore it, but don't you just sort of just feel its presence? You know it's there. You can just, if you wanted to, at any time, you could just reach out and touch it. Open it.
I know that, I guess for me it's not like a door, but I understand what you're saying.
He nods and says,
I do have some magic that is with me all the time that I don't have to think about. And I know if I just wanted it, I could call it and it would just be there. I don't even have to really think about it to do so. It just would happen. Is that kind of what you mean?
yeah, I think so.
Just being ready for you anytime you want it.
Yeah. I guess it's just I never felt it before. It's never. I don't know.
Never?
No, it see, for me in my head, I feel the void. It's there, even after the spell, even if it's not polluting my being. I feel it there. But now, after the spell, I feel almost like another door. Except the weave is on the other side. I don't know. I don't know how to really explain it, but it's there, and it wasn't there before. At least I couldn't see it or feel it.
Well, maybe the void made you more in tune with the different fluctuations in magic because it was so different. And then once it was gone, because you were so focused, now you're able to see things you wouldn't normally see. If you weren't trying to find the void and knew what it was, you never would have known it in the first place.
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe without it in the way, now you can see or feel the rest of the weave.
It's strange, but anyways, that's just what I'm thinking about. It's new. It's this strange feeling. Really,
Is it a good feeling though?
yeah, I guess.
You said you thought you might be able to cast magic. Do you want to try?
He kind of works his mouth a bit, trying to find the right words to respond to that. It's like, I do, but if I have no idea what this is, what could happen?
In all honesty, I can't think of a better place for you to try untested magic that you have not known before other than here, because, and she points over her shoulder, Sephie is right there, and Sepka is in the back baking cupcakes.
Inside
I
a
can't do it
tavern.
outside the building.
He like gestures a thumb to Ren. He's like, Ren is thinking.
I mean, we could go outside. I just meant that we have people who are obviously well equipped to deal with maybe any sort of magical fallout than we would be if we were just alone in the woods trying it.
Yes, of course. You know what? I'll try it on the way back to the library.
Okay. I'm glad that you can feel it, Professor. It is a wonderful feeling to know you're not alone.
He thinks on that and he just kind of nods his head like, yeah. It certainly feels a lot better than knowing that I can't rely on my magic. I mean, it's incredible to know that maybe I can do magic and I don't even need a book for it.
I mean, yeah. You can never, if the magic is part of you and you just have it available to you all the time, you can never be without it.
That does bring a level of comfort.
There's nothing that anyone can take away from you when it's all just yours.
Don't say that too loudly. That's exactly the type of thing you say just before that happens.
Well, people can block you off from things and try to put stuff in your way, but they can't take it forever. It's still there.
Well, there's a will, there's a way. Which reminds me, I do still need to talk to your papa.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry. You went with. I was.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. No rush.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can talk to David now, if you want.
We got stuff to do today. Maybe tonight.
Tonight. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't want to. You were. By the time everything settled down, you were already gone, and.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay. I promise I won't forget tonight.
Really, it's fine. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, so I just, Aura, how was your night? Just pivot away from that.
I slept fairly well.
Oh, that's good.
How was
Good.
yours?
Oh, it was good. I read a book to Nariko, and she worked on an amazing invention that she's working on right now. And then I watched her sleep with Arby. She's a great listener.
Sounds like a good night.
It was good. I liked it. Did you like all the drinks at the tavern last night?
They were interesting. I think I'm gonna need to try them again to see if I like them.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, we're coming back here tonight, so I'm sure we can have some more.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. This is a really nice little town.
I like it here.
Me too. So where do you think we should go afterwards? I mean, Yuki was mentioning it before. Do you think we should stay here? Not here in Edmay, but here in this area of the world before we go off to Everil?
I mean, I guess it just depends on what we find.
That's true. Well, we have Weyburn Port, which we know that there was there were the things leading that way, and the caves that were there that those maps had been drawn to. And Yuki, you know those mountains really well. But then there's also Rose Coast, which I think would be worthwhile to stop at, even if it's on our way out, so that Ren can find more about himself, especially after decoding that scroll and getting some more magic.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a good idea.
I think so too. Well, what do you think, Ren?
I am not so worried about confronting my past. That is not something that must happen immediately. I am more concerned about the activities of the cultists and ensuring that the void corruption does not spread.
I mean, that's true. But if the whole reason you were brought back is to do some purpose of this, it might be worth knowing more about who you used to be so that we know why. Or what if you left something behind that you need? We didn't even know this scroll was this thing until we got it translated.
Thus far, I have not enjoyed the things that we have found that I have left behind. I am uncertain if I can manage any more additional discoveries.
I suppose that's fair. What about Weyburn Fort?
Don't forget about what Fedwin said.
Right, that we're supposed to stop the cult.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that they're also presence up that way.
True. I do not want him in my dreams again. That was very odd.
Did you tell him not to come back?
I do not believe it is wise to tell the Thorns to do or not to do anything.
I mean, they're still people.
Wait, that thing was bothering you? You want me to go deal with him? He needs to visit me anyways. That's super rude. He hasn't been here forever.
See?
He
Sephie's a fool.
he was in my dream when I was sleeping. It was very odd. He hid behind his cape.
Did he say why he came to your dream?
No, he did not.
Yes, he totally did.
What
He totally
did?
did.
Ah!
He said, yes, he did.
He literally said, "I think you'll freak out the least
Right.
about this."
I was the one who would freak out less. That's right.
Because you're the most level-headed and calm person of the group, and so I wanted to come to you with this information.
Joke's on you, buddy.
Which
Yeah. The one who's already having like a crisis of fucking faith right now between the balance and the not balance and bullshit and trying to be better. Yeah, come into her dreams.
Well, Fedwood doesn't know that.
Yeah, great.
He only knows what he met you from the first time, which was
Yeah.
Nariko was mad at him, Jade was mad at him, Professor stole his cake. Bren seemed to be of a mind of not one or the other, and Aura was also freaked the fuck out. So Yuki is obviously the clear decision here, and
Yeah.
instead has the woman who does hallucinogenics is the one who freaks out about a vision quest.
Yep.
Just gonna say that.
Yep. Fact.
Hilarious.
consent is important.
Consent is fucking important, Fedwin.
How are you supposed to consent to a dream image?
I don't know. That's his problem to figure out, not mine.
I don't think Yuki's getting another vision.
I don't think so either.
Oh,
Well, Yuki didn't tell Fedwin not to do it the next time, so
I think even Fedwood would see her level of not okay with this and decide, nah.
please tell me Fedwin tries red next.
Oh my god.
He's gonna try somebody next if he has another message, I'm sure.
Or
It
he
would
tries
probably
to
be
like,
either red or Nariko.
Yeah. My
he
vote
tries-
my vote is probably on Ren or Nariko as well.
or he tries to like freaking appear in fire and be like, "Hey, I'm not in your mind." Because that's not creepier.
So funny.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Finger 3 centimeters away from your eye.
Yep. That's about it. Kate billowing, of course.
Pivoting back to topic, to what the professor says. Well, but if Yuki's dream was correct, then they're actually not close to them at all. They're actually looking in an entirely wrong place.
They're looking in the wrong place, but physically closer. It's only a matter of time until they start looking in the right place.
Maybe, but if we so say we go there, deal with those cultists, and then we come back this way to try to deal with these ones that might still be here. But what if they leave before we get here, and then they're on the way and already get there before? Do you know what I mean? Like, it would make more sense to deal with the things here so that they can't come after us later.
As much as I don't want to volunteer anyone, there are 3 thorns of the black rose here.
They have a home and a life here.
He winces a bit as he kind of turns his eyes between Sepka and Sephie and Zine's like, not if they come and raise this place.
Did you see what Sebka did in the woods? There's probably a reason that they're steering clear of this place.
But that's what I mean. In this area, we probably have the luxury of a little more time just because it is protected.
Edmay, maybe. Are you going to send Sepka and Sephie off to Waben Port to do something that we already saw captured Sepka once? They have little kids.
No, of course I'm not going to send anyone anywhere. But what I'm saying is that, at least logically speaking, the tactical advantage would be to strike where there isn't protection. And leave the place that is protected, whether it's here or 50 kilometers away or...
Except, but Professor, there's already been stuff happening that they did not stop, and they're only 3 people. And they don't have Ren. What happens if something infects Sepka or Sephie? They're much more powerful than we are.
Just saying that if, for whatever reason, they start looking in the right place while we're dealing with things here, and Fedwin can't deal with it, they will have the Clavis, the one thing that's stopping them, the one thing that they need to get their plan off the ground.
But I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, Fedwin sent us a message telling us that we shouldn't go after them. We should go after the cult that's around because they have it handled over there. So if we do go over to Everall and we take care of the cults that are there, and then we meet up with Fedwin, and then we just lure the rest of the cultists that are still out there right to them, because they're probably following us a little bit. They already know who we are. Don't we make a better target going after all the little bits and pieces so that they can't regroup later?
I think Jade makes a salient point.
Oh, Nariko.
We're here in Iceland. Bedwin is there in Avril. He's with the Clavis. He has whatever forces he has there to protect it, alongside the Archmage. We, unfortunately, have a minor problem in that we are not as powerful as them, but we also tend to attract a lot more attention. That's partly because we hand out business cards. That's partly because the cultists seem to have a vested interest in Aura, in particular.
That's true.
We do tend to attract whatever void is in the proximity wherever we go. And imagine if we weren't here to check up when Sepka went missing. Now, more than likely, Sephie would have found him and taken care of it herself anyhow. But it does go to show that there are things happening here that may not even be the cult's doing, that we have the power to fix. And we are learning new bits of information as we do so. I think it's worthwhile to make sure that we've exhausted the information that we can find here in Iceland before we move on to Avril, and potentially draw a lot more attention to the cultists there,
Right.
to what's going on. Moreover, I would like at least a little bit more time before we set sail for Tremonto.
Is everything okay, Nariko?
Not sure.
Okay.
I got a letter this morning.
From your not mom?
No, it wasn't from Mom. It was, I sent a, I took your advice and your feedback, and I sent a introductory letter to Marcus. And he responded. So, yeah.
Was it not good?
It's good. If anything, it has given me a very strong appreciation for his character. He's definitely more than just the noble playboy that I was left to envision for lack of other information. Joe, if you want, you can go ahead and share the letter with everyone.
Okay. With the notes?
Yeah, you can do it with the notes too, because I've already decoded it, so they don't.
Ow. Oh. Nope, that was just you. Hang on.
So first on, damn he hot.
Pow.
Oh!
Yeah.
Damn, he hot.
Yeah, damn he hot. So you can read over the note at your leisure.
What's Nariko's face look like when she looks at his portrait? I know what she put in the chat, but what's it look like the second time?
There's no response the second time because she's had enough time to get over her initial impression.
Her initial impression that he hot.
Yeah. But she will state that the letter itself comes from Marcus, gives me some information about him. He was also very suddenly informed about the engagement. He's very much a man interested in theater and poetry and the pursuits of a bard. And from what he writes in this letter, he wishes me goodwill and very much supportive of us learning more about each other and supporting each other in this strange situation we have in. And then there are the glasses he included, which, when made use of to skew the colors, he left a code printed within that portrait. I already took some time. I've decoded it, and she will share the note at the bottom where she has her translation. And he, from what I can tell, he believes that his family is hiding some sort of ulterior motive for this arrangement. He's warding me away from coming to him.
Ooh.
For my safety, from what I can tell. Reading through his letter and with this code here, it seems to me that he's not opposed to our union for any reasons of like me as a person or anything like that. There's some machinations going on here, which I will say he has earned a lot of points in my book for uncovering this and finding a way to sneak that information to me, as well as setting up means in which we can have a more personal conversation hidden within the official correspondence. So, as far as additional assessment, if this portrait is accurate, which again he may just have a very good artist, seems to be good in the looks department. Seems to have a mind that is both creative and intelligent. So that's great. I really wish there wasn't some sort of strange conspiracy going on beneath the surface. But it's too much to hope that it's separate from the cult, but it's probably related to the cult. That just seems to be what happens to us.
It might not be.
It might not. It probably is, though. I have to assume it is.
Maybe it's just that they want to take control of the von Grunzner family empire or something.
Well, then, I mean, good luck. I mean, I'm not opposed. Like, their best case scenario would be a part. Well, no, they could arrange Marcus and me to be married, and then try and dispose of me in some fashion. I guess that's an option.
I suppose, but I mean, if that letter's any indication that Marcus wouldn't ever allow that.
No.
And also, you would just, you're pretty great and smart and clever and fast, so.
Yeah, I think that plan might have had some legs, like 2 weeks ago. No, not now. I don't think
2
so.
weeks ago, you had no idea of anything that was happening here. I mean, just because bad things are going on doesn't mean it's all the cult.
So, I'm going to need to take some time to figure out how to respond to Marcus. I will probably continue our correspondence in the vein of sharing bits about ourselves, getting to know each other. I don't know, maybe some light flirting. It's clear that someone else is going to be reading these messages as they go, so need to make it look substantial. But I might need to question Marcus about the details of this. I'll let him know that I have no intention of being in Tremonto anytime soon. But we need to find out what he knows. So, if it is related to the cult, we're going in knowing what we're expecting.
That's a good plan. I mean, Newman's here. You can write him a letter today.
I can, but again, I'm gonna need some time to figure out exactly what to compose.
Right.
So let's go see the tree first.
Right. One thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
One small problem at a time.
To
get to the bigger problem.
It is a relief to know that by all accounts, Marcus is someone who can be a friend to us. Whatever else. Sorry, my personal stuff came up for a bit there.
No, I mean, Nariko, we all have. We're doing really important stuff. But look around. Every adventurer, anyone who ever did anything for the world, did really important stuff. And they also had a life. Can't stop living just because you're doing something that also matters just as much. So, don't apologize, and we'll go talk to the tree, and come back, and you'll write your letter, and we'll find out more that we need to know before we head to Tremonto, and then we'll decide which direction we go from here tonight. After talking to the tree.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's all I have to share for the moment. I'm ready for us to take care of this little weed growing in the garden out there. And we're bringing Sephie along so that she can perform the hallowing to cleanse the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told me.
I mean, we just requested. We would never tell you to do anything, Miss Sephie.
Why are you so nervous? Something needs to be cleared out, and I'm pretty good at clearing stuff out.
Okay.
I think Z will put a hand on Sephie's arm and say, I'll look after the girls and or the kiddos and make sure that the cupcakes continue to get made while you're gone.
I know you will. Don't worry. And we won't be gone long at all. Famous last words there, aren't they? I'm still not actually going to be gone long. Promise.
Just a few hours.
He's making mad enough. She's gonna set another earthquake off. She done before.
Alright. So Z hanging back with Cassie and Rory while Sepka works the bar in the kitchen, and the rest of our adventurers are heading off to the forest. Yes?
Yes.
Very good. So, again, your journey will take about an hour to get back to the forest. You again approach that same kind of band of withering plants, although it looks like a little bit of the green is starting to return. Make your way through Morwin's Grove. Nothing could cost you this time. It appears that the beasts that had accompanied Morwin prior are nowhere to be seen. So you do have a clear shot to where the stone steps lead down underground into the library. And barring anything else you guys would like to do or talk about along the way, you're easily able to make yourself back into the library, get into the chamber, and once again find yourselves in front of the massive, pulsating heart of roots stuck to the wall in this library.
Does it seem like it had made substantial progress on regrowing its body since we were last here?
No, the tree itself, the ground stump is as you left it.
Okay. Alright. Nariko will hang back in case she is needed. That's about all she needs to do right now.
Professor will step forward, kind of rub his hands together and crack his knuckles, and like, all right, let's have a chat. And he just kind of opens himself up to the void to allow it to sort of be present within him, and he'll reach out and touch the roots.
As you reach out and touch the roots, the sound of the whispering gets louder. Just a cacophony of noise in your head. You can make a charisma saving throw if you wish, or you can choose to fail it.
He looks over to Ren and he says, "All right, I'm going to do it. Just want to say that if you have to rescue me, keep whatever you have to say to yourself."
Oh no,
And he,
I'm absolutely saying I
he
told you
will
so.
he will choose to fail the charisma save.
Please rescue me or avenge me as appropriate. uh, so, you choose to fail. You will take on 5 points of corruption.
Ah!
The
Whoa!
whispers, yeah, the whispers grow louder in your head, Professor, and the sorts of things that you hear kind of repeating. It's almost like a broken record. You just hear a number of voices just whispering out, calling out, urging you to that you must look for the artifact, you must find the artifact, you must search, and you must not let anything get in your way.
What artifact? What is it you want?
The whispers repeat themselves and they get louder, they start echoing in your head. You have the opportunity to either make or intentionally fail another charisma saving throw.
Can I do an insight check to see if I can get any sort of gleam about whether or not failing another one is going to get me any closer to an answer?
It seems like it wants to tell you something, and it seems like if you were to give into it, you could possibly learn more. No check needed.
His eyes are squeezed shut and his hand is firmly on this thing, and he just sort of calls out to Ren and he says, "It wants me to open myself up to it. Yeah, it wants to tell me something. But I need to know you're on board for this first."
I will pull you back. You are still an idiot.
Oh, that's a yes. And he will grit his teeth and squeeze his eyes together even harder as he lets out a long sigh and fails that check.
I am going to send you a message in Discord. Go
Okay.
fast. So you get that. But as you are giving yourself into what the seed is trying to tell you, the world around you kind of shushes, and it goes dark, and you kind of take a breath in, and you can hear yourself breathing in your own hearing, and you kind of blink and you open your eyes, and you find yourself standing in a grove, a darkened grove. In the center of a small clearing, sitting on a dead log that is tipped over, you see a elven boy, maybe about 10 years old. He's got fair skin, dark hair, wearing a simple tunic, simple pants that are maybe a size or two too big for him. And as you look upon his face, you see his cheeks, his nose, or eyes are reddened as if he has been sobbing.
Professor takes a step forward and cautiously, leans a bit to the side to try and really cocks his head to the side and looks more intently at this kid. He's like, uh, "Hello, can you hear me?"
Kind of sniffles and looks up slowly to you and blinks, and he says, "Will you be my friend?"
Well, Are you all right?
He again sniffles and shakes his head. And he says, "No, I'm not."
What happened to you?
I've lost my marble.
Your marble.
He nods. Uh-huh.
Oh dear, that sounds terrible. What does this marble look like?
It's round, and you can kind of see light through it, and it's purple looking. And it's this big, and he holds his hands apart, and it's about the size of a basketball.
That sounds very pretty and like the biggest marble I've ever heard of. Where did you last see it?
Kind of snivels a bit, does that like kind of catch in his throat when little kids they cry for too much. They get that little catch, and he says, "Have you ever been to the astral plane?"
Oh, the astral plane. Can't say that I have. Tell me about the astral plane. Well, sorry, what's your name?
My name. I don't have it anymore.
Oh,
He looks up at you and he
what?
says, "You understand? I could tell."
The professor kind of pauses as at that. He's like, yes, I suppose I do. What happened to your name?
Lost like
Is it
my
with your marble? Well,
Maybe.
you know, having a name isn't all it's cracked up to be. You get to choose a new one.
Oh, I
Would you
don't.
like me to give you a new name? How about Alan? Alan sounds like a great name for you. You look like an Alan.
Oh, Alan. I think I like that.
Well, Alan, I don't know where your marble is, but you seem to have a feeling about me. Tell me, what is it about me that you feel right now?
Kind of turns his head a bit, and he says, "You research. You like knowledge. You have kind eyes and a voracious brain."
That's very, very perceptive of you. And what would you like of me, Alan? What would you like me to do for you?
If you could find my marble.
Is the description of the marble the description of the clavis that we know of?
No.
Okay.
Decidedly a different color. Decidedly an orb, not multifaceted.
Okay. Tell me, Alan, what does your marble do? Does it do anything? Or does it just roll about like a ball?
Knowledge. It has a lot of
Oh,
knowledge. It can tell you and teach you so many things about the world, about creation, about life beyond death.
that is something. You must have been very sad to lose it.
It was very special to me.
And this marble is in the astral plane, you think?
I know.
All right. Well, tell you what, Alan, if I find myself in the astral plane, I will keep an eye out for it.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Good. Now, here. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out like a handkerchief and hands it to him. He's like, dry your eyes. Now, where exactly are we here right now?
He kind of looks up and he looks around and he says, I don't know.
Are you trapped here?
I don't know. It's like I woke up in a dream and here I am.
Interesting. Well, Alan, sometimes a dream where you're not sure what's happening is the best kind of dream because it's not the kind of dream that's going to hurt you. So, chin up, be brave. I'll keep an eye out for your marble. But I have to go.
Okay. Maybe if this is just a dream and I wake up, maybe I'll meet you there.
Maybe. Is there anything about him physically that's pinging any sort of memory or knowledge of people of the past?
Give me a history check. No. No memory, no souls you may have encountered in the past. Nothing, and if it is nothing, it would not have been anything that would have, caught your attention specifically.
Okay. All right, Alan. I'm going to go. Perhaps we'll speak again.
Okay. Bye. And as he kind of waves at you, you hear your breath, your eyes open again, and you are back in the library.
His eyes kind of flicker open, and he's like, he takes a couple staggers back and yanks his hand off of the thing. And he just kind of like holds his hand in the air, almost like clenched in a fist, almost like it had burned him. It didn't, but he's just kind of holding it and he stares at this pulsating root. And he just looks around at the people around him and he says, You definitely wanted to say something.
What did it say?
Before you answer, as you pull away, Professor, I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Such an experience would have kind of crashed a weaker mind, but you're stronger than that.
All I can think of is like, you think you're some kind of Jedi? Why you wave your hands like that? He just kind of rubs his temple a little bit, and he says, I don't know if it was a real person or just a vision or an avatar, but I was presented with, I don't know, came face to face with a little boy, a little elven boy, fair skin, dark hair, who's crying. He said that he was missing his marble, and he holds his hand to gesture how big it is, this big. And he kind of describes it as it was described to him, and says, apparently it can bestow great knowledge, lost somewhere in the astral plane.
You don't think that... I mean, we know the cult was looking for artifacts. They took that from Crystal Cove. They took that teleportation piece.
He looks decidedly troubled at that. You're right.
It's like, what? We know they were going after artifacts, and they were going after. We know they're going after the Clavis, but what if they're going after other things? What if that little boy? Could he have had something important that they wanted?
It's entirely possible, but I have to say that I do have this incredible curiosity to find this thing and see what it is. I don't necessarily want to be giving it back to children in trees, but
No.
if
What
this
if
is
they did
something,
something to him?
if they did something to him, and if this artifact is as powerful as he says, we can't let it get into their possession. And if it is in their possession, we can't let them keep it.
So where would we be likely to find it?
Well, unless we can find an easy way to get into the astral plane, I haven't the foggiest.
If only we knew a guy. Smash cut to Telvar, who has like 6 towers on the astral plane.
Right? Telvar's like, someone said my name. Actually,
Wait,
more
wait.
accurate, just like,
Yeah. Is it in the stories that the Thorns went to the astral plane to fight Vaxis?
I'm pretty sure it would be.
You know, perhaps
Nope.
once we get back, this is something we could talk to the rest of the Thorns about. Unless you have some information that you could bestow upon us, Sephie. You've been there, right?
I mean, yeah, but plane hopping really isn't my specialty. We usually use some sort of teleportation circle or a really big wizardy spell, and I don't do really big wizardy spells. I do really big, like, clericy spells. So I don't know a whole lot about that.
Well,
Wasn't-
that would definitely explain why the cult was so interested in that piece of ritual that they stole from the Sentinels.
if that piece actually goes to the astral plane,
Well, it
What
did,
could
because
go on?
it was the one that was in the castle that led to Vaxis's personal realm.
Sephie, just out of
Sephie,
curiosity,
Huh?
what did Vaxis look like?
Ugly.
tree monster.
Ugly. Right. He kind of shakes his head. All right. Do what you will with the tree.
Ren will tap the professor on the shoulder. Do you require me to use the spell?
Joe, do I have the bane effect from the corruption?
You have a little more than that. You currently have advantage on void spell attacks and saving throws, and disadvantage on non-void spell attacks and saving throws.
I don't like that. Okay, someone give me high or low.
Always
Hi.
go high.
All right.
Get treated for your void STD, idiot. That's what I say.
Void
I mean, I don't know. It
STD.
depends on what kind of magic professor's going to be wielding here soon. Mister, I can feel the weave now.
I rolled a 77. Yes, please. Hey, you know what? Nah, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I think I'm all right.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Joe, what does Ren have to do a check on to evaluate how bad the void corruption is on the professor?
I'm fine. Don't do that. It's fine.
You are full of excrement.
How about an insight check?
You don't know that.
And Professor, give me a deception.
Hey, go ahead, beat my 10.
He did. He rolled an
He did.
18.
Okay, fine. Fine. Ren will grumble and go, very well.
Look, I promise you, it's fine. If it starts to really start messing with me, you'll be the first to know. Trust me.
Certainly, I will be walking behind you when you collapse.
Well, what's the point of having big, broad shoulders if they're not there to lay a head on?
Don't make me stomp on you before I bring you back to life.
He just grins.
So, business with the tree concluded. Professor shrugging it off like he's fine. Are you ready to burn the tree?
We're going towards her?
Witch.
I haven't done this
Get
in
it,
a
Sephie.
while.
Go for it.
Okay, if you guys are ready, we're gonna do it. I don't have Sephie spells up. Okay, we're just gonna say she did it.
Yeah, so Sephie should absolutely have.
Well, Sephie can prepare her spells at the start of the day, and she knew we wanted Hollow on hand,
Yeah.
so she probably took that. Maybe like
I'm
Flame
sure
Spray.
she did that.
Yeah, she would absolutely have that ready.
We are yada yadaing this.
So here's the Hallow spell.
Hmm.
Jesus.
Oh, is that all it does?
Yeah, that's all it does.
I don't think I've actually took that. That's cool though.
It's
Oh, it's a casting time of 24 hours.
It is very situational.
I'm gonna work on it.
It falls under the class of spells that I like to call great for DMing. Oh, not good for the adventurer on the go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude.
So Sephie will take the day to cast the Hollow spell. I didn't realize it was a 24-hour casting. My bad.
No, we got a few hours. It's fine.
I thought Hallow was one of those spells that you you cast it and it takes an hour to cast it, and then you have to cast it every day for so long, and then it is permanent.
No.
I didn't look up the spell when I thought about it.
Well, I mean, Hollow is a way to basically, reverse the effects of what's going on. But yeah. So
Well, it's permanent, so.
So you will have a day of downtime, but I will tell you that after the casting is complete, once we reach that point, you kind of feel Akadi's light and the wind around you, and it smells like cherry blossoms on the breeze. The ground above the library begins to calm and begins to grow back as lush as it once was, and any trace of this tree, the stump, the seed, all of it, just kind of will shrivel and wither away.
Is it gone?
Seems to be.
Detect magic. Scan the area.
Same.
So
I would also like to talk to the Professor during the time that Sephie's casting this in the 24 hours we have.
okay, yeah, you guys can have whatever conversations you like to have. I was just kind of yada yadaing the effect. But yeah, you guys can do whatever you want in between. But so as far as your once the casting is complete, your detect magic, and even if you put it up while it's happening, you'll detect Sephie's evocation magic taking effect in the ground around you. Once the casting complete, then there is no more trace of void in the area.
Nice.
Yay.
While Sephie's doing her casting, Jade is going to approach the Professor wherever he might be during that time. I know Nariko went to the library, and everyone else is probably just hanging out. So.
Yeah, he's probably not far, just sort of sitting there.
Professor,
Hello?
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Can you still feel the weave?
He rolls a shoulder a bit, kind of holds a hand up and flexes his fingers a little bit. Yeah. Still there.
You didn't let Ren cast that spell on you. Are you hearing whispers?
No, no whispers.
I shall sit down next.
I don't know the nature of what I witnessed there. Part of me wants to think that there's some sort of personification of the void, something hiding within it, trying to reach out. And I'm well aware that that's a very dangerous thing. It said words, beautiful words, words that anyone who knows me would know that it would pull at me. That these are the words that I would want to hear. Infinite knowledge at my fingertips. If I could just find this thing, one part of me, the logical part of me, knows the old adage. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, but the other part, all the other parts are pulling at me in this direction to find out more and more as much as I can. And we have this spell. Ren has this spell that could purge the corruption from a person, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm elated that we have this at our disposal, but Ren can only do so much. And just because Ren has this ability doesn't take away from the fact that we still need to understand it as much as possible so that we could tackle it on a wider scale. Because this is big. Bigger than me. Bigger than us. And I just feel like we're finally at this precipice of understanding. And again, it's hard to explain, but I need to know more. I feel like getting access to that spell is only telling me that this is something we should do further. That show there is possible. It's possible to clear all of this, but I'm not willing to do that at the expense of my friend. I'm not willing to burn out one candle just to try and look for other ones.
I'm worried about Ren too. I talked to him last night about... He's the only one who can cast that spell. And that's great that he can do that, but that's a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation for one person. And he dismissed it in his Ren sort of way. Not that he didn't hear that the worry I had, but that he said that if it required him to give everything of himself to this cause, that he would be happy to do so. And I think most of us feel the same, that this is something very, very important. And Ren is very practical. And I don't think he would throw himself into danger unnecessarily. But it is a concern if he is the only one who can do such magic. And if there is something out there that might be able to help with that, it's also worthwhile to take that chance. But going in knowing that it might not be what we wish it to be. Morrowind said that the whispers to her were insidious. Maybe it was a lie. But if it was, why? would it gain? Because we know that the cult wanted to go there anyway. If this is something that they are after, and we are supposed to stop them, we have to stop them. And that means we have to... If this actually is an artifact that maybe the Whispers and the Void are telling them they have to get, and you were able to get that same information and not be compelled to give it over to the Void, then that means that's a piece of knowledge that we have that we can use against them, because we can get it, and then they cannot use it. If it's not what the little boy in your vision said, and it's still something they want, it's still something they might need, and it's worth it to get it out of their hands.
I
But
agree.
if it is what this little boy claims to be, I mean, you said that he was crying and didn't know where he was.
He was
Dreams
crying, but he seemed to be more concerned about this artifact being missing than not knowing where he was.
Dreams are strange. If it is another guardian of an artifact like Elida is, maybe that's the only way he could reach out. If he is trapped by the cult or by the Void and you reached through it, maybe he reached through it too. Or maybe it's a trap that's trying to get you to listen to it and tell you all the things that you want to hear. But even if it was, it's good information. And you're still you. You're not feeling compelled to feed anyone to a tree, are you?
Not today.
Well, see, that's already progress. That's already a good thing.
He chuckles a bit at that and says, "You know, I could tell you this because I feel that we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But since being in there, since talking to this little boy, I called him Alan. He didn't have a name. It's not his real name. He didn't have one. Just like me. But ever since being in there, I feel very strongly that knowledge of the void is the real power. And we need as much of it as possible. And that we can't let anyone get in the way of that.
Does that mean that you would stop Ren from casting their spell on you?
He hesitates for a moment and swallows, and he says, "Yes.
Why?
For now, anyways. Just for now, at least."
Would you physically hurt Ren to stop him from doing such a thing?
Until now. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
You're good.
Until now, as gross as this, he does the air quotes, this corruption, it came by means of putting a lot of people in danger, and it wasn't comfortable to have that type of corruption, especially when I'm trying to be something as silly as a wizard. Silly for me, anyways. Can you imagine? But there has been such an immense amount of learning come from it. Possibilities. And being in there and interfacing with that tree really just pumped that corruption back up again. And it's honestly not comfortable. I don't particularly enjoy it, but I need some time with it. I need to understand it. I need to let it sit with me for a bit and just let me get to know it, so I know what's going through the minds and bodies and souls of those who are not so lucky as to have a friend like Ren. Because we're trying to do a lot of things, and for myself, I think I really want to help people. More specifically, I want to help the people who succumb to this and can't help themselves because they don't deserve whatever's coming to them. Because we're going to serve a lot of justice, for lack of a better term. And if we can find a way to help them without crossing blades, for every one person for every person that comes to us and says that they have nothing for us unless we join them in the void, if we can just inspire at least a seed, a nugget of inspiration that maybe it doesn't have to be that way, then it would be worth it, because those seeds grow.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree. But I made a promise to you and to everyone else as well. And I need to know that if Ren were to come in here right now and cast that spell because they were concerned for you, what would you do about it?
I'm not going to fight Ren if that's what you're worried about. I just politely,
Ask him not to.
ask him not to. Not right now.
Not right now.
But
Okay.
it does raise something.
Mm.
Before I waste anybody's time, I want to know from you, your papa, does he have agents, people who aren't fanatics, who do his, I hate this term, but bidding on his behalf here on the material plane?
My papa? Not
Nods.
particularly. If you mean, does he, like the Void, have people working on his behalf? Sure. Of course he does. Because people find his name and people reach out to powers that they do not understand, or don't want to understand, or think they can control, or think they know what's best, and will do things that they think those powers want them to do. Does he actually tell them to do things? No. Most people who have contracts and contact with the Hells aren't making deals with devils. They're usually using demons.
If he were asked, would he do deals with mortals?
I think it would depend on what was asked of him. You have to understand that most of the time, when people reach out to, Papa specifically, I don't know too much about most of the other devils, but when they reach out to Papa specifically, it's not to make a contract in good faith. It's to trap him. It's to control him. They do the rituals. They do the things that they've heard said that need done to call upon him. And most of the time it doesn't work because it's not the right one. It's not done properly. And he can't even hear them. That doesn't mean other things don't and will take advantage of that.
The professor
If-
almost kind of.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
He almost chuckles at that, and he says, "You know, it's ironic, because that's exactly the opposite of what I'm looking to do. I need someone of his level of power to get something."
I didn't
That
say
would-
he wouldn't do it, just that most of the time the people trying to summon a devil, they're not really looking to make a contract like you would go and sitting down with like Nariko and her mum and write up a thing and have it happen. It can happen. It does happen. You have to be very, very careful with it because I love my papa. He's a good man, and he always was. But the people who usually reach out to him are not people seeking to do good things. Do you understand? And
He nods.
his job and the thing that he does now is that he makes sure that those people who seek to do and twist his everything into the evils of this world, make sure that they suffer for it forever. But if you were to ask him, if you wanted to talk to him, Professor, I don't think he wouldn't hear you out. But, and I'm sure you'll know because you worked for a god at one point, but maybe not. The Celestials are different. Contracts are very important. And if it's not written correctly, one side or the other can get more out of that deal than the other party. I don't think my papa would hurt you.
Do you trust him? If the
I trust him. Do you trust him? Would be more appropriate.
I trust
I know
you.
he would never hurt me or my sisters. I know he wouldn't hurt my friends unless they were a danger to me. Or if he felt he had no other choice.
He nods and he says, "Well, I look forward to chatting with him."
Sure. Do you want to talk now, since we're going to be here for a while?
Give me a couple moments to get my thoughts straight. I want to present in a way that isn't flustered.
Of
He
course.
nods. As out of character, I have to be right back. So,
Okay.
next.
Someone else do a thing.
So as Professor and Jade are kind of discussing, Sephie's doing her spell, Nariko working on her project. Yuki, Ren, Aura, what are you guys up to?
So as previously stated, Yuki is kind of having this crisis of faith, because of everything that happened with she who will not be named, and her telling Jade she would be better, and just kind of trying to navigate this world of gray that she's found herself in after living in, the monastery for so long, and it's not difficult to make balanced choices when you're there. Yuki will have pulled out her little book. She's kind of got a book, the basic tenets of her religion. So she's just going to kind of be sitting in the corner, reading it and kind of meditating on it and refreshing and just kind of reading quietly, and trying to reconnect with what she held so near and dear, but is now, and it was such a core part of her that has now been shaken up a bit. So she's kind of doing some contemplative, meditative reading, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Ren still thinks the professor is sus, but he cannot put his hoof on it.
Sus. Do you guys want to stay in the library area the whole time that Sephie is doing her Hallow spell?
I mean, probably just in case something happens.
Yeah, for sure. I think in case something happens, but also to kind of be watching one of the Thorns do a really cool thing is something that you don't see often. So I think Yuki would want to kind of hang out, even though she's doing her contemplative, meditative thing. She's going to kind of, as well, just kind of be watching Sephie to be freaking awesome.
Also, we're doing all this in a library, which means our party full of nerds has no lack of things to be poking around at.
And seriously, no reason to leave.
Also true.
Which is great for Nariko because she can get all of the 20 hours she needs to build this device.
Yeah, not a problem. So yeah, you can do that. I imagine Ember will be sending word back to the Starlight Tavern that Sephie's going to be here for a little bit, even though they probably already knew, because they would probably know what a hollow spell is, even if I forgot.
Yeah.
So,
I figure Ember actually just didn't even come because Sephie gets into too much big shit to risk her little familiar at this point.
Good point. Good point.
Thinks he's got everything on lock.
Yeah, so visitors may or may not come by from the Starlight Tavern and the brewery if they so decide. Sepka Z, the twins, whether they come by or not, maybe they do, and just kind of check in and make sure mom's all right. But the 24 hours will pass without incident, so if you're resting here, another long rest is had. But at the end of the 24 hours, as I said, the ground is the ground is clean, and the tree, the seed, all of it gone.
Okay. In that case, before we finish up with the hollow spell, Nariko is going to head to Yuki.
She's gonna what?
She's gonna find Yuki.
Ah, I thought that's what she said. She's not hard to find. She's kind of close-ish to kind of the hollow spell thing. She's just sitting crisscross applesauce. Got her little tail curled around, and she's got her little well-worn book kind of leaning on it. She's kind of reading a passage and then kind of sitting, absorbing, thinking.
Yuki, I don't mean to interrupt, but I had something that I was working on that I thought might be of use to you.
Well, yes, Nariko. What is it? Something else? You've given me more than enough.
I'm very, very flattered by that. I don't think I've given you anything besides the amulet, though, right?
At when we're fighting, you helped me be stronger with my claws.
Oh, yes, right. That was actually what I was thinking of. Mainly the fact that the enchantment that I provide for you is it only lasts for an hour, which has tended to be enough for our needs. But also, there may be occasions where you need to go and scout ahead, and I might not be there to provide that for you. And so I wanted to work on something that might be able to be helpful to your fighting style. It's a little more involved than the magic I use. That just kind of creates a metallic coating onto your claws and gives it a little bit of extra magical reinforcement. This would be, and she pulls out what looks to be a steampunk gauntlet.
Amazing.
And she says, I wasn't sure if it would be, going against the teachings of your monastery as far as like natural improvements of the body or whatnot, but if you could try it on, I just wanted to see if it might be functional.
Yuki will take the gauntlet from her, and she'll put her book aside, still on her tail, still respectfully, not on the ground or anything. But she'll take the gauntlet and she'll kind of look at it. She says, "What? How beautiful!" And she will put it on.
Okay. So what this is functionally, this is an Eldritch Claw tattoo, reflavored quite a bit.
Okay.
So as Nariko sort of like straps it in, she shows Yuki that with this sort of spring-loaded flick, the gauntlet can, as her claws are unsheathed, kind of sheathe a metallic extension along with it, which seems to have a little bit of that same kind of vibrating steel that she was using for Arby's kind of blade attachment. So provides that continuous +1 to attack and damage rolls with her unarmed strikes. And then she says, and I know that in your fighting style, you also try to sort of control the distance between yourself and the opponent, get into strike and then fade away. So it took a lot of work, but I managed to make use of some of the air compression devices that Z had showed me to jerry-rig this. And as she activates the next feature, the claws from the gauntlet basically spring forward with a burst of steam connected onto a cable. So this is the Eldritch Maul function, where as a bonus action, for a minute, you can make your melee attacks up to 15 feet away from you, dealing an extra 1d6 force damage.
Wow. I think Yuki will be in awe of this thing, and she's saying, "This is Nariko. This is unbelievable. How did you even come up with something like this?"
Well, it just started with normally with artificing, it's usually weapons, swords, and bows and rifles in my case, which is pretty simple in that you just sort of take the base weapon and then add magical augmentations to sort of further empower what it normally does. It was sort of an interesting challenge because when I used the enchantment on your claws, it was just sort of a very basic improvement. But I wanted to know if there was a way to have it be self-sustaining with more of the non-magical devices that I make use of. So that's how it started. I needed it to be wearable and functional because you don't have your claws out all the time.
Right.
So that's where the spring lock came into it, and then, like I said, I was sort of trying to find what I might be able to use with the whole air compression angle, and your particular style was just a good fit. So yeah, it helps that I've been working on Arby a lot lately, and after I sort of started fiddling with his one arm to give it sort of modular weapons, that helped me with a few of the the finer details on this device for you.
This is so incredibly wonderful, Nariko. Thank you. Thank you. Yuki will stand up and she's just going to straight up hug you.
Oh,
Tail wrapped around the whole nine.
I'm glad you like it. I hope it will serve you well in battle, and if for whatever reason you need to pick up a bow or something else, you know I'll always be happy to give you that little bit of enchantment for your other weaponry as well.
Yuki's going to look at Nariko and say, you really do amazing things to change the world around you. I hope you know how important you are to so many.
Thank you. I mean, it's she's not sure what to say. In her head, she's thinking citation needed, but she's not going to say that to Yuki.
Yuki will literally just gesture. She'd be like, look at everybody around us. Seeing Nariko is like, cannot compute, sort of smoking at the ears, per se. She's going to obviously let go of her and not completely hug her forever. And she's going to say, should I just need to wear it in battle, right? Don't need to wear it all the time?
Oh, right. Hold on. And she flips a couple more switches on it.
Mm-hmm.
The various platings on the gauntlet start to sort of recede and sort of crawl their way up from the forearm up along the rest of the arm, and then sort of expand outward. And in this sort of like less obvious state, it almost looks like you're simply wearing almost like a sleeve on your arm, where there's sort of like cables that crisscross together to make almost like a lattice, not quite fishnet pattern, but something similar to that, with many different bits and bobs of like copper gears and other bits of metal sort of interspersed along. It's almost like it sort of like disassembles itself into a little bit of like just sort of, oh, that's just a kind of a decorative garment, which is a functionality I will claim it has since it's based off a magical tattoo. So it can be unobtrusive if you so desire.
Amazing. I'm just thinking Witchblade. Just fucking Witchblade bracelet just breaks down. If you've ever seen. If not, you should look it up. Yeah, she's gonna just look at it. Sephie knows what I'm talking about.
I don't know if Nariko's abilities are such that she can compress it entirely into like a single bracelet. But she's got her own spin on it that's decently close to that idea.
For sure. No, for sure. That's just what came to my mind when you were talking about like breaking down and everything. I was like, oh my god. It's one of my favorite comics. It's fine. So I think she will she'll kind of just keep admiring it and say, how are you doing, Nariko, after everything with the letter and how are you?
Good in some respects. I'm very glad I took your advice to open communication with Marcus. So far, it seems like a bright young man that I can work alongside with. Well, I don't know if it's. She like thinks to herself, it's like, it's very confusing to talk about my fiance that way. But anyway, it's clear that the wedding is going to be complicated for other factors besides that, which, you know, personal feelings and such, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. It's good to know that I've got more to explore with him and that he can be an ally to us. And we've got time before we'll be heading that way, so plenty more for me to learn before we get there.
For sure.
About everything.
Well, it seems like he is a very talented young man, and I am looking forward to seeing you two get to know each other better.
Yeah. If he's a good guy, and well, I guess now it depends on if we find anything problematic with the business side of things. I think talking with you and talking with Jade has helped me come to the point that, at least for what I need, I'm confident and comfortable in setting my boundaries and expectations of what I want my married life to look like, and you will just have to accept that.
Yuki is just smiling at you, like she's so freaking proud of you that you're like setting boundaries and doing all this. So she's just gonna smile and she's gonna say, "Again, this is going to be wonderful."
But meanwhile, I'm going to help my friends, and the first thing I thought of that would be fairly simple to accomplish would be to help my good friend Yuki punch bad guys harder.
Yuki's gonna kind of look at the gauntlet, and she's gonna look at the detailing and beautifulness, and she's gonna say, "I will punch them very hard." And she's gonna smile.
Good. Well, that is my gift to you. I'm gonna see if I can spend some time trying to find other ways I can put my talents to use for the rest of us. We've collected a decent bit of treasure in our adventures so far, so I'm hopeful I can translate those into some more material benefits.
I have no doubt you will find amazing and innovative ways to make Mystic Mechanicus even more efficient and fearless.
I do like this other time. And yeah, don't forget to add that Eldritch Claw tattoo to your stuff and attune to it so you can get all the fun benefits.
Oh, I am already on it.
Very cool. So, once the spell is complete, is there anything else you want to do in the forest, or do you wish to move back to the tavern? Or wherever else you want to go?
Nerd girl don't know what to do in forest. Go back home.
All right. So the job is done. You guys pack up after a day of hanging out, and reading, and making stuff, and giving stuff, and all other sorts of things. Make your way back to the tavern. It is the next day, and the twins are very happy to see you return.
As a Z, she will have helped Sepka make a kind of welcome back feast full of breakfast food and pancakes shaped like pyramids and all sorts of fun things. She'll have coffee brewing and all of the amazing things for everybody to have.
Sephie comes in and she has lost some of the pep in her step because that was a little exhausting. But I did it.
I think Z will kind of rush over to her friend and she'll kind of put her arm around her like, "Hey, welcome back," but just kind of like hold her up a little bit as well. Just kind of like, "Hey, gotcha." She'd be
Come
like,
on, Z, I'm not that old yet.
no, you're not that old at all, but you seems like you've had a big day, so why don't you take a seat and let us get you some food?
Alright, fine. You don't need to make a fuss over me, though.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to get Sefka out here?
I actually wouldn't mind seeing him, but if he's busy, don't bother him.
Well, I'm sure if he saw you a little tired, he would make more than a fuss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she'll get her settled and go get her a plate of food. She will also kind of nod at Professor and give him a wink as she sees him come in.
You notice and just give her a bright smile and look around and find a spot to sit.
I think Z will kind of go and, much like she did with Nariko, she'll, slide a plate of food in front of Sephie, a cup of coffee. Then she'll head over to where Professor is sitting and put down a big plate of bacon and sweet food and coffee. And says, Sephie doesn't look like the only one who's a little drained. You all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Who knew that talking to a sentient tree steeped in void energy would be so tuckering?
Well, she's going to slide the plate close to him. Tuck into this, and then you can tell me all about it later.
Oh, don't have to tell me twice. And you'll immediately dig in.
She'll kind of bump him with her hip as she walks by and go get everybody else food and stuff.
All right. So you're back at the tavern after a long day spent in the forest. Food is served. Everyone is kind of gathering around. Newman just kind of hanging out on the bar, just doing Modron things.
Odrin!
Just sitting there with this goofy smile on his face. It's like, what are you doing? Calculating.
Calculating what? Everything! I love numbers!
He's being
Why does
agreeable.
he remind me of Clippy?
Yes.
Because yes.
I see you're
No.
trying to send a letter. Can I help with that?
Yes, you can. Take this to Albuquerque.
Newman, human cyborg relations.
I feel like we make a lot of jokes like that between Newman and Arby.
Can't
Which
imagine
one
why.
is R2D2?
I think
Arby.
Arby has to be
Arby,
R2D2.
for sure.
He doesn't
Because
talk.
Arby gets shit done.
He's
When
always
he saves our bacon, he's R2E.
Yeah. Not that Newman doesn't do stuff. It's just that he is really human cyborg relations.
Yeah, so the group gathers back together, and it's Sunday today here in Edmay. Some of the town starts to filter in more than what you've seen before. Again, a lot of tieflings in this village begin to kind of filter into the Starlight Tavern. It becomes a usual Sunday thing where a lot of the town seems to come in and out more so than usual. Kind of a social type day where everyone is kind of taking it easy, catching up with each other. Even Morwin comes and spends some time. And Sephie and Sepka are busy kind of running the place. Z running her brewery. The twins doing the bard thing. As you guys are here, kind of relax and take your time for the day. Day is still early. You have plenty of time to do what have you. As you guys are all gathered back together with this tree business behind you, and things starting to seem to return back to normalcy around here. I ask, what is next?
I think that while everything is just sort of settling in and people are sort of getting their just normalness together, the professor would pull Jade to the side and say, um, you know, I think whenever you're ready, while everyone's going about their business, would be a good time to perhaps do that thing we discussed.
Oh, yeah, of course. Let's go.
He nods and he'll follow her. Just a little bit of discomfort on his face, nervousness.
It's okay. I promise Papa will not eat you.
I trust you. It's it's silly, and I know how it sounds, but you have to know that us Kitsune are of the celestial type, and it's just a little bit of nervousness around the devil types. But I mean, I do trust you, and I trust him because I trust you.
Of course. I mean, I understand. I'm not great around the celestial types,
Fair.
so I get it. But here, she'll go to her room, which is her room with Nariko, so it's just her and Nariko's room, and she'll take out David. And she'll sit down at the table that they have there. Just go ahead and sit.
Sure. He takes a seat. Hello, David.
Hey, hello.
David, Professor would like to talk to Papa.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose I can summon him.
Yeah, he's just gonna talk to him for a bit. So.
All right. So the eyes of the skull glow red, and Professor, you and Jade find yourselves standing in kind of like a sitting room. There's some comfortable couches. There's a fireplace. You kind of see where'd it go? You see Malik in his dad form, kind of sitting there, little glasses. He's reading a book.
Dad form. That's the best.
Yeah.
Turns around and he goes, "Oh,
this isn't even my dadliest form."
It's not. He has a sweater vest.
Oh, Jade. Hi. Oh, and you have Professor with you.
Hi, Papa. Yeah, Professor wanted to talk to you about something kind of important, and I thought this was the best way to do that. That would be a bother.
What is it you're looking for, then?
Hello, Mr. Morlock, sir. Well, I thought perhaps if you'd be so inclined, I'd like to have a discussion. Pick your brain, and maybe he does that kind of like a kind of face, like he almost like a recoil, like he doesn't want to say, like maybe I could ask a small favor.
Kind of perks his brow and he says, "A favor from a devil? You must be desperate."
Strange times we live in.
Let's hear it.
Well, how abreast of the situation going on here with us are you? How in depth do you know what our dealings with the void is at this juncture?
Well, Jade checks in with me from time to time, and She tells me that you are on the you're on the trail of finding some kind of magical item that is kind of what's keeping things separated and at bay. As far as your exposure, I understand that you have had some exposure to the magic itself and have been tempted to use it.
He nods. Oh, good. Well, you see, we're in a place where I feel very strongly that our strongest defense against the people who wield the void is to get a better understanding of it. And after last night, I feel that, for lack of a better word, put myself at risk. I feel very much in my own control, but I need to know that my friends are safe, and I need a fail-safe. And that's kind of where you come in, because in order to do this, I think I might need something that I don't have access to, but someone like you might be able to secure.
What is that?
He hesitates and he swallows really hard and says, "My name."
Oh,
Your name.
My name. It is in the possession of the academy I teach at as a failsafe. In case they do this with all the professors, they give out their true names as a failsafe, just in case they decide to be tempted to do dark things with the magical resources they have at the university. And that means they have mine.
And what are you proposing that I do about this?
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot. There's not a lot of things that hold the type of power that a name has. And I would like that, should something happen where the void claims a part of me that I can't claim back, I need my friends. And he looks to Jade and smiles weakly. He's like, I think Jade specifically need to be able to reel me back in. And in a way that only a name could do.
You're making a lot of assumptions here, and that this could even get through whatever power it is you are trying to wield.
Unfortunately, assumptions are really all that we have at this point, and an assumed failsafe is better than nothing, I would think.
So, what, you wish me to go to your academy and take your name back? Is it written on a piece of paper or a scroll?
He nods. He's
Cloud?
like, it's a contract.
Hmm.
It's hidden away at the school. I don't know where, but I don't want it for myself. Because what good is it going to do to have someone steal it back and give it to me if I just need someone else to be able to step in where I can't?
You know, there's very little I can affect directly on the material plane, right?
He kind of scrunches up his face. He's like, even with a contract.
You can make all the contracts you like, but if I don't have a way to get in, I don't have a way to get in.
He nods. Like, that's fair. You know, if I'm absolutely positively honest with you, I really have little understanding of how these things work. I know that the contract is of Fey origin, and I'd really like to not have to deal with a Fey to have this done.
Fey deals can mostly be secured by Fey means.
Yeah.
You're now a Fae?
is true.
So the question becomes, is it worse to make a contract with the devil or worse to make a contract with the Fae?
Well, the advantage of dealing with the devil is that somebody that I trust very well, very deeply, trusts you.
Huh.
So I trust you.
I suppose there is something to be said about the devil you know, right?
That's what I hear.
I'm sorry to say, I can't do anything on the material plane without being summoned. And those who would summon me do not have the best of intentions. It's usually in everyone's best interest that our worlds don't cross when they don't need to.
I'm in agreement there. And I figured perhaps I'd at least talk to you about it, get a better understanding, because, well, knowledge is power, and that's something we are lacking in this.
I can understand that. But I'm not sure I'll be able to help you in this regard.
That's okay. Thank you for taking the time anyways. It's good to know. And I always appreciate the chance to pick the brain of someone like you.
He kind of looks at Jade and smiles a bit, and he says, "It is refreshing to meet inquisitive minds."
Well, Paul, if you think of a way that Professor might be able to get that, would you tell me?
If I could think of something, sure.
Do you think, I mean, I don't know where you go when you have your annual ball or anything, but do you know, if we were to make a deal with the Summer Queen, would that be okay?
Are you asking for my permission, or whether
Your
you'll
opinion?
be okay?
Or, yeah, that one.
Well, I suppose you have to be very careful about how you word it.
True. Or maybe we don't know her, but she's the only one we know.
She may have been a thorn in the Black Rose. She may still consider herself so, but she is an Archfey now. And there are certain rules that even she must abide by, whether she wants to or not. She can twist things as much as she can, but it's not foolproof.
Understood.
Well, now we know.
I mean, worst comes to worst, if we absolutely have to call Papa, I can call Papa. It's just that he is right. I really don't tend to want devils up on outside unless it's really, really important.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was worth asking. I'm not really looking to burn a bunch of bridges just trying to get to the other side here.
Oh, what about Newman?
Are you suggesting that I make a deal with Newman?
Well, Nariko has. You said it's a contract. It's a physical thing, right?
Yes.
Nariko has lots of little Newman drones. She might be able to help you if it's just a matter of getting that piece of paper.
Oh, sorry. I really didn't give you the full gamut of information. It is just a piece of paper at this. I mean, yes, physically it's a piece of paper, but it is a very protected piece of paper. It locked away somewhere at the academy. Can you imagine if someone could just walk in and get access to all the professors' real names in an academy.
That's true. Well, maybe we can brainstorm it with Nariko, at the very least, before we decide to make a deal with someone we don't know.
I'm going to be completely honest. This was kind of my only path to that end.
You also have the
I,
option of not messing with the void, or at least the
This is
magic
true.
anyway. You can learn as much as you like, just maybe stay away from the magic part of it.
If I can do any learning without touching the magic of it, I absolutely will. And that would be ideal. Just kind of not been that successful in that area. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not really looking to cast those spells if I can avoid it. But
Kind
if
of
that's the...
keep coming up against it.
It's always there.
Well, I will wish you luck, and I would also hope that you take caution. In the meantime, though, if I do happen to think of anything, if I see any way I can be of assistance in this matter, then I will let you know.
Thank you, Papa.
Much appreciated.
He smiles and nods, and he says, "Of course." And then the vision of the sitting room fades away. You are back in Jade's room, and it is past 11 o'clock. So this feels like a
Ta-da!
Ooh, we gotta brainstorm, man. Look, I'm just saying, give Nariko enough time and resources, and she will find a way to make something that will get in that room.
You're not wrong. She's just got other things on the priority first. So
Agreed. Look, if we're desperate for a name,
I mean, he's not desperate to just
you've
go about
got
getting that name and handing it away.
You've got a second option, is all I'm saying. Is it better? No idea.
So some roleplay awards tonight?
Oh my gosh, there were so many good things that were happening tonight. Frickin' Ren and his whole bury me under the apple tree thing.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
That was great.
Seriously.
God damn, dude.
Hey,
And
I made you
being
feel
Sephie.
emotional.
Yes!
Of course you did.
Yep.
And being Sephie and being Ren, just like tired of the professor's nonsense. But the
Ren is
professor
so
too,
over that.
with yeah.
Definitely
But
the
it's still
professor.
the
And that
professor
whole
as
Alan
well.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. The Alan thing. I loved he comes back and he's like, what does Vaxus look like? Was he a little boy?
Oh, that's right. I meant to put that art.
And then Yuki's struggle still like happening right now with her balance and trying to figure out what is going forward with that, and being Z again. And then Nariko just being Nariko with her. I'm going to use every opportunity and downtime I have to make cool ass stuff for my friends.
Hell
Good
yeah.
skill set, though.
Yeah. And having her letter from Marcus.
That
Mm-hmm.
was cool.
And having her little moment of like, oh, he hot. Oh no, I have feelings I didn't want to. I didn't think I was gonna have. I'm slightly flustered.
He's physically hard and he's smart.
I also like how Joe took the opportunity to target me specifically for more code breaking,
Oh yeah, it was great.
which I I was very close to just like bringing it to the rest of the party, but then I figured out what it was, and I was like, oh wait, I can actually break this. They're talking about shit. I'll do this first and save them some trouble. Just me and Nariko being the same person for 5 minutes as I'm just frantically looking back and forth between my notes and the paper and like muttering the count under my breath as I'm trying to find the right words.
Adorable.
Amazing. So yeah, I think you have a hard decision to make tonight, honey. Those are my call outs. Anyone else got anything? Who's second
Rounded
to
'em up.
someone else?
Still appreciate both any of the moments where Sephie and Z also get to hear their voices commenting on the situation.
Oh
Great
yeah,
chorus style.
100%.
Yay! All friends.
Did you have a fun night?
Sephie, can we please talk about this once he's gone? You know he's gonna leave again, and that's fine. It's what we agreed to, but can we not talk about that while he's here? It's
No.
trying. Sephie!
It's fine. A little stronger. You're not convincing me, which means you're definitely not convincing yourself.
Which means you're definitely not convincing him either.
I almost would think this is revenge, but I think Lorelai was the one who pestered Sephie and Sepka about how their courtship was going. I don't think Z ever butted her nose into that.
Oh no, Z stayed out of all that nonsense. Are you kidding?
No,
That was
Lorelai,
all.
Lorelai is the one who has no boundaries. Please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was all Lorelai.
I do not apologize.
We
You
know.
should,
Look
because
what
it's
came of it.
amazing.
Amazing things. That's what.
Yeah, I think I gotta go run in Professor on this one.
Yeah,
Hell
Everybody
yeah.
has to pick someone else.
Best buddy comedy
I
ever.
also have two.
Oh shit.
Sorry, we too awesome for you.
You
That's
really are.
true. You're pretty damn awesome.
You really
Oh
are.
yeah.
Well, in that case, I think I might then go with Yuki and Nariko.
That sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
I burned both of my inspirations tonight, but I really
There you
As
go.
well you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, that was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the whole Yuki trying to
Joe.
stay calm, and of course, taking Z over as well, and Nariko with the letter and bringing it to everybody. Those were also some great moments too.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this now because I'm going to forget it later. Joe, I have a set of like +1 studded leather armor in my inventory that I think we like looted from somewhere, and then no one in the party really had a use for it.
Yeah, I think it was like some loot or something from somewhere.
Well, there's a couple of young up and coming adventurers here in this tavern. Can I sell this off to them?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. How much can I get for it?
Let's see.
If you're looking for the same item pricing for +1 armor, it's 1,500 at base.
Yeah, 1,500 might be a little rich. Let's see. Shit.
While you guys are mathing, I gotta take off and take care of animals. You guys have a good night.
Okay,
Good
good night,
night,
darling.
Sephie.
Everybody.
Again,
I'd say you could sell it for 1,000.
for 1,000? Cool.
Yeah.
Only doing this right now because I've had like 3 sessions in a row where I've like noticed this in my inventory and I completely forgotten about it, so I'm just like don't want to forget again.
Yeah. Gold is
All right, that almost doubles the party funds, so I have more materials to work with.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. I also am going to dip out.
Okay.
I have the sleepies. Awesome night tonight, guys. So fun. Love you so much, and talk to you soon.
Love you, sweetie. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Love
night.
you. Good night.
How about what did we learn?
We learned that touching the evil thing gets you better information, so you definitely always touch the evil thing.
Yeah, that certainly wasn't to try to draw Professor in more and deeper.
No, definitely not.
I have learned that Nariko is confirmed bisexual.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Marcus be hot.
Yeah.
He's got it going on. There's a
We're
song
gonna
about
get there. We're gonna get there and we'll find out we've been medieval catfished.
it. This was my picture 30 years ago.
You're 18. How?
I took some embellishments.
Faye thing, man.
Props to Midjourney for not somehow like causing some sort of strange tiny deformity to tip me off that it was an AI generator. Although, if I had stared at this like little necklace crest a little longer, I'd have realized that after zoomed in, it's like, oh, that's just like a tangle of nothing.
Probably. This was
It
another.
is getting much better.
Yeah. This was another another example of me asking ChatGPT how to create a prompt in Midjourney.
Oh, that's some literal human cyborg relations going on. I need the robot to translate for me to the other robot.
I'm employing all of the all of the robots to work for me.
I feel like doing that should give you less coherent output than more, like running a translator through a translator. But
ChatGPT actually is not bad at getting this stuff. What the hell?
yeah, well, it's working off the same logic and grammar, for lack of a better term. So that's what makes the difference. Okay, I will need to before next session. No, I could definitely have enough time to write up her next letters, so I'll need to have those ready by next session. Which I'll probably hand off to you in the Nariko chat.
Okay.
And then Newman will be sent off. She'll probably write a letter to Mom, and then her next letter to Marcus. And then, before I sign off, because I've got work tomorrow, I looked at my schedule and I'm free for it. I thought, hey, what the hell? So I'm actually going to go and attend to Aaron's very late Halloween night thing.
Very cool. We were going to go, but it's on the 18th, which is the same night we're having Friendsgiving with some friends up here, so we're not able to make it.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting for me. I rolled what class I should play, and I rolled up Wizard, and then I looked at my Wizard ideas, and I was like, I'm just going to play fucking Isaac from Castlevania.
Oh, do it, man.
Oh, that's cool.
So, level 10 Conjuration Wizard with as many demon summoning magics as I can get a hold of. Which includes things that I should not be allowed to do, which is do things like cast Infernal Calling and then cast Planar Binding on it so I can get just the CR6 devil following me around for 24 hours. But I asked and he didn't say no, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it'll be... The one thing I'm nervous about is that it's going from 7 p.m. to midnight. And it's up in Butler, which is like an hour drive for me. So I'll be getting home very late. Other than that,
Yep.
I'll be able to tell you all about it. No Sunday after I probably slept through most of the day. So,
Sleeping is good for you. Make the sleepies.
I did some great sleeping earlier today. I slept like 4 hours.
Amazing. I took off for like 4 hours of work today to just go to sleep because I got to that point where I started getting real lightheaded and nauseous. So I was like, I gotta go, and pieced out to go lay down for a while, and then came back to work. Thank
Well,
goodness I'm able to do that right now.
it's
Rosie,
also, it's also
you're so
tactical, and
cute.
in my case, it's kind of important because on night, like I have game night tonight, and then I got to go to work tomorrow, so a little bit of extra sleep during the day is to help offset the couple hours I'm missing from usual when I go in tomorrow. Yeah, which is necessary. I'm hoping for no more overdoses in the bathroom.
Yeah,
That'll be
really.
my mark for a decent work day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you all very much.
We
Um,
love you.
Lovely session.
Thanks for joining.
Um, uh, Joe, would it how helpful would it be for you next session if the party knew for sure where we were going after that thing?
I have several locations lined up, so all seem to be logical where you may go next. So wherever you guys decide to go, I think I'll be ready.
Okay. And I know Nariko's votes are basically either to Rose Coast or to um, like up to Wayborn Port and then over to that cave in the mountains.
I think after what we learned, like here, Jade is going to definitely cast her vote to go to Weyburn and up to the mountains because we know they took the teleportation circle and we know where the rest of that teleportation circle is.
Mhm.
So makes sense to try to get there.
Yeah. The I
But
think the only reason she's considering Rose Coast is that Ren just busted out their very important card for
yeah,
Doomsday. So if there's anything he feels might be of use or a connection to that stuff over in Rose Coast, then it might be worth stopping by.
yeah, Jade definitely wants to go there before we leave this continent. I mean, Ren has said that he doesn't care about his past, and I'm like, you are not helping the plot move forward. Um, but Jade is for sure like, you just got a very big piece of magical information about why your god sent you back. Like we really should go there. We've been told that you're like you're from there and all your stuff is there. Like we really need to go and at least take a look.
Mhm.
From where we are at Edmea, I guess it makes sense to go to Rose Coast and then if we want to go over to Wavernport we could because then it's just a circle around.
Yeah. I mean, if our goal is to like do things in Iceland before heading to Avaril, it behooves us to basically pick all the places that we know we want to visit and go from
Yeah.
them south to north, essentially.
Yeah. Especially since it's going to take a couple weeks to get from Iceland over to Avril. So like we're going to be on that boat for a while.
We had a lot of books to pass the time.
A lot of books, lots of deep, meaningful conversations, and anxiety.
So, oh, good. All right. Well, love you all. Have a good night. I will see
Love you.
you.
Have a good night,
Night.
honey. Tell Rosie we
Night.
love her. Look at her cute little face.
Oh, she knows. He knows.
She should know because she's so cute.
Oh shit, I'm still recording.
Ah!
Uh,
uh, Penis. Goodbye.